Hi, this is Lynn,
And this is Paul,
and we're
along the way.
yes,
We're glad to have you with us. So, a third segment on more personal and family related topics. And
children.
yeah. Now, not all of you have them, but most of you do. So, fitting that into life and ministry is kind
Yes,
of where we're going here.
and keeping the kids a priority.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, things are going to come up in ministry, and you're going to have to cancel on your children at some point, but not always.
And I think that's probably a large part of the key is making sure that's not the pattern, it's the exception. And the kids know it's the exception, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so that's, again, like everything else in life and ministry, if it's going to go well, you got to be super intentional about it. You have to even let your people know.
Yeah.
Your family's first. I mean, God first, family next, and then ministry.
Yep.
And let's be honest, there are some churches where that's not a welcome prioritizing of responsibilities, and there are some pastors where that's not
Yep.
a welcome prioritizing of those things. But for us, it has been, and I think that's biblical as well. So, how do we do that in real life? Keeping the kids first
Yeah.
in terms of priority.
Well, there's a lot of ways to go about it, and of course, we've already touched on this a couple of times in our videos about how you are at home is the same as how you are at church, and that includes how you take care of your kids. Um, and today, you've got the world telling you all sorts of ways to raise your kids, but I think you need to be biblical about their importance and priority and your responsibility towards your children.
Yeah. That is a subject that we could get very deep into very quickly and isn't really the scope here, but it's true how you prioritize them. Um, Things like discipline and things like care, even personal privacy and things like that. There's biblical answers to those issues. So
Yeah, we'll have to talk about personal privacy with your
yeah,
children and stuff at some
I think that would be a good topic to
yeah
address. Tell
later.
us what you think if you think that would be a good topic.
Yeah.
Every couple is different.
Yep.
Lynn and I are. She's a night owl. I'm the early bird, and that's always been true of us. And so, whenever we could make it possible for her to sleep in, I was already up. And so often our routine was that I would do breakfast with the kids, and that became special time for us.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, because I often had meetings at night, and sometimes I was painting at night, I was usually home for dinner.
Yeah, but he often had to leave right after
Right
dinner.
after.
So breakfast became his special one-on-one time with all three children.
That's right. We would go over homework together. We would talk about life together, their relationships and their friendships, and all the things that are important to your kids. I think if you were to ask our children today, if they remember their childhood with dad at breakfast time, top on the list would be talking. We just talked about everything. It was a fun time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite times was when I was driving with the kids, going this place or that, and having just one child and being able to talk with them
Right.
and have that one-on-one time, and making a points where we had that individual time with each individual child.
Right. You know, if you're a parent right now with kids still at home, we can't emphasize enough how important that is, because raising children, it goes quick. And even though if you're in the midst of it now, it seems like it's taking forever, the flip side of it is that it goes very, very quickly, and you want to do it well. You want your kids growing up really appreciating their childhood and their time with you, and that they felt important to you.
Yep, and we talked about doing special events and, like making kites and flying kites when you didn't have any money. And just with children, that's the most important thing, is spending time with them. And it doesn't take money to spend time with your kids.
And your children have interests that are unique to them. They love it when they can talk with you about their music or about their friendship or about some struggle they're having, and to know that you're really listening, you're not just kind of nodding and off in space somewhere.
Yep.
I loved being able to have my son come to me with a new song that he was hearing, and it was off secular radio, and he wanted to know what Dad thought. And if Dad wasn't really excited about the song, I just didn't come down on him hammer and tongs. We would listen to it together, and we would talk about it. We'd talk about it musically. We'd talk about it lyrically. And that gave our kids the understanding that there was freedom for them to talk with us about anything. Same was true with all of our children. They each had their own interests. Our son Tim, he loved building things, Legos, that kind of stuff.
Blocks,
everything. When it was blocks, I was all in, because that's what I grew up with. Legos, you needed to be an engineer as far as I was concerned, but he was a master at it. But I'd be on the floor with him when he was a little kid, playing with blocks. Our daughter Sarah, like most young ladies, she liked dolls. I played dolls with Sarah, and I did tea parties with Sarah.
And you did necklaces and earrings with your granddaughters.
I did. They would braid and comb my hair. I don't think I got as far as them putting makeup on me. I don't think.
No, because they didn't have it then.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you get the idea. They're individual, and they need to be treated with that kind of individual respect and that kind of time. So even if you don't have a lot of time, the time you do have, make it count.
I think that's the key with all relationships.
Yes.
Is when you have the time, make it count. Don't just sit there and read your own book and somebody. I mean, there are those moments where I'll be reading a book and you'll be reading a book, and we're not talking.
No, we're happy together reading our books.
Yeah.
But it is true, and just like she said, it's true for husband and wife as well. You don't always get the opportunity to spend the time that you want with each other. So the time you do have,
Or with the children.
so you make it count. Make it count. Make it
Make it
personal.
count. Make your children know that they are a priority.
Yeah, that's right. One other thing on this, let that show in church. Treat the kids in church the way you do at home. Hopefully, if you treat them well at home. But your congregation should see that same level of interaction that you have with the kids. It's amazing what that will do. It'll help your congregation treat your children with respect. And it may even help improve how they treat their children at home.
Right. Because we are examples. And, some people don't like that, but the fact is God pulled you out and called you to be a leader. And in leading, you have to lead the people and show them the way to behave. And how you raise your children is important. And mostly it's important for the child and their one-on-one relationship with the Lord. But it's also important that the congregation see how you're raising your child.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 7 tells us that that as parents, and especially dads, husbands, as a believing parent, you are an umbrella over your house, a spiritual umbrella, and your kids are under that spiritual protection. So long as you've got the umbrella out, so understand your role and responsibility before God as far as your kids go, as far as your relationship with your spouse goes. We will be held accountable for that. There's a lot we could talk about.
Oh my goodness.
There's stuff that's coming to mind that's going to have to be for another video.
Well, there's 18 years worth of, or 20, or 46, is our oldest one is now.
Yes.
But he's been out of the house since he was 17 and at college, so.
Yeah. Which is another whole topic, you know, your relationship with your kids once they are no longer your kids at home.
And when your relationship with your adult children,
Mm-hmm.
that's an awesome
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
And what that becomes starts when they're young at home.
Right.
You are building that relationship when they're at home.
So think of little things you can do, little things you can say that just build and build and build upon your relationship with them, and helping them find their path with the Lord, and making good choices in life. Will they make 100% good choices? No.
And will we?
And
No.
And we didn't. I mean, we would like to think we did, but
we didn't.
we didn't. We didn't.
And be honest with yourselves and with your kids in that process too. Don't try and gloss over the mistakes you make as parents. Acknowledge them. Sometimes it's important to acknowledge them in front of your kids, and you need their forgiveness sometimes. That also will build your relationship for later. So, yeah, I hope this is helpful. I hope it's real. I hope you glean something from this, especially if you're already in the position where you're raising children at whatever point now. It's never too late. Yeah. So,
This is Lynn.
this is Paul. This is Along the Way. Please leave your questions and comments below. We'd love to hear from you.
Hit the thumbs up, subscribe.
Yeah, pass it on to your friends. We'd love to have you share this with others if you find it valuable. So
So we'll see you along the way.